Hey friends, welcome back. I am so grateful to have all of you here in my neuro tribe. I love you. I love you. I love you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. So, I have had kids sick for 2 weeks. We are definitely in the throes of fall, and with four kids in four different schools, they're bringing home all different kinds of viruses. And I know all of you parents are going to feel me when I say this. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's just me. But it seems like the kids get sick and what they want to do is go crawl into my bed. And I'm like, you guys do know that I'm the only one that takes care of you, right? Anyway, so having said that, I also got sick over the weekend and I've just been super tired. So if I am a little bit sniffly and seeming a little bit tired, this is why. Okay, so I am on this tangent about owning yourself. And I think it's really, really important for our community for so many different reasons. The last time I talked about owning yourself, I really talked a lot about taking responsibility for yourself, right? And for your actions and for the things that you do, whether it's a positive or it's a mistake, right? And that resistance that some people can have for taking responsibility for themselves, and how I challenged that thought and actually gave you the idea that it can be actually freedom, taking responsibility for yourselves, for your action, apologizing for things, and owning what you have done is actually freeing, and it sends a positive ripple. If you think about the energy put into not owning yourself, or maybe lying or blaming something or someone for what you have or haven't done, think about that ripple of energy that it puts out there, right? It very much puts out this energy that you are not authentic to who you are. And also, it calls into question if people can trust you or believe the things that you're saying, right? So when you own and apologize for something you may or may not have done, right? Or your part in a situation, it actually sends this positive ripple vibration out there of being trustworthy, being someone that is the type of person that they say what they mean and they mean what they say, right? And they're the type of person that if they talk to you because they have shown, or because you have shown that you take responsibility for yourself, you're more likely to be listened to be understood, and to be appreciated, right? Taking responsibility very much helps yourself and the people around you in your life. It also is a very high vibration when you are able to take responsibility for yourself. It's so interesting how people can be so uncomfortable with the fact that they make a mistake, or they acted in a way that they didn't like how they showed up. And so in response, they either avoid or tell a lie or try and blame it on something else. And really, that's doing nothing but harming the relationship with yourself and harming the relationship with those around you. Now, the other aspect of that I want to talk about today is taking total ownership of who you are. And part of the neurodivergent community, we really had challenges that we face in society And that gave us a lot of stories about ourselves, right? So it gave us a lot of opinions about ourselves, and not all of them are good. And so the negative self-talk that we can have in our minds can be so crippling, right? And it can make or break you in some instances or some aspects, right? It could stop you from doing something that you want to do because you're afraid to do it, because you have this story about yourself that you can't be successful, or you can't be smart, or you can't do this one type of work because you have executive functioning issues, or whatever it might be. But taking a complete picture and a complete look as to who you are. Now, one of the things I think is happening a lot out there is talking about our neurodiversity as a superpower. And there's some aspects of that I think that are really good, because we can have people in our community that are only focusing on the things that are not good about them, or the challenges that they have, or the hardships that they have, and also not paying attention to the aspects of themselves that are the strengths that really do give them the superpowers, right? And then on the opposite end of that, the people that are focusing only solely on their superpowers, it's not, for some people, it's not helping, because they genuinely do have disabilities that they need help with, right? If you think about DE&I, and you think about people out in society, and you have a neurotypical person and you have a neurodivergent person, and the neurotypical people are like, oh, you have ADHD, that's a superpower, so you don't need help with anything. That's not true, right? That's not helping anybody. That's toxic positivity when we are talking about our neurodiversity as being superpowers. Yes, every neurodivergent person has superpowers. We were literally wired differently, so we can think differently. So we really are the game changers in this world. We really are the inventors, we are the entrepreneurs, we're the ones that are out there because we have that ability to think differently. So we are making positive changes in the world. And also, it also comes with challenges, and in some cases, disabilities. And those challenges and those disabilities need to be supported in some way or another. So part of owning yourself is owning all of the good aspects and the positive aspects and the strengths and the superpowers that you have as a person, and also owning all of the challenges that you have. And this aspect also is talking about how some people can be so resistant to the things that they lack, or the things that they have challenges for. What happens when this is occurring and they're resisting that? Then you find a person that's heavily masking or heavily camouflaging, or really fighting and feeling the effects of imposter syndrome. And so part of owning yourself is just being able to look at every aspect of yourself as a person, understanding and accepting your wiring, and understanding and accepting and building your strengths, and understanding and accepting your challenges, and looking at all the different aspects of your personality to be completely accepting of who you are, right? There's parts of my personality that I have been able to accept and not change, right? And it's because it's who I am. I have always been an incredibly sensitive person, and I have been able to use that as my superpower and also understand that it can be my greatest weakness as well. I have had numerous people in my lifetime realize how sensitive I am and kind of use that as a hot button to be able to manipulate. And so, as I've accepted that as part of who I am, I also then give myself the ability to learn how to discern better when someone is trying to manipulate and utilize my sensitive aspect of my person to manipulate to their means when they don't have my best interest involved, right? But then there's also that other aspect where I can use my sensitivity to be able to really show up and serve my clients in a way because of my sensitivity. I am not just listening to words when I'm talking to my clients. I am watching body expressions. I am watching the way that their eyes are moving. I am watching every aspect of what I'm seeing in the client, right? And then also, I feel even through a screen the vibrations of what is coming off of my clients, right? So, this is what I mean by being able to fully see yourself for who you are and accept all of the parts of yourself and build on your strengths, and then the parts of yourself that you feel can be worked on. This is enlightening. This is a good thing. There are so many people, when I start to work with them, they kind of view finding something out about themselves that they don't necessarily like as something bad. And what I always say to my clients is, this is actually good feedback. This gives you something that you can now work on and work with, right? Because if you realize that this aspect of yourself has not been working for you in the past and it's been causing suffering, that's good feedback. Now we get to work on that and we get to help you shift and reframe and adjust until you show up in a way that you genuinely want to in any given situation with this aspect of yourself, right? So, loving yourself for who you are today and now, and accepting yourself for who you are today and now gives you this level of deep core self-confidence that no one can touch. Is so powerful. I love you all. Take care. Bye-bye.